Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm ForClassic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have in here it is Hitman 3, a game developed by IO Interactive, and they are using their in-house technology called Glacier Engine. So IO Interactive always were the developers behind Hitman. They were the main creators of Hitman, and pretty much almost all their games are Hitman. They had some different games in the past, like Freedom Fighters, which was released in 2003, and I did loved, in fact. But their main concern and their main focus, it is always Hitman. So today, my target it is to try to understand how this game performs on an Nvidia MX130 with 2GB GDDR5 or an Nvidia 940 MX with GDDR5. So I'm running the game at 720p using the absolutely minimum settings you can go for, and well, that's about it. Alright, that's the minimum. Unfortunately for me, and contrary to the first game I was able to use resolution scaling through some tweaks through regedit and use lower values than 100% resolution scaling. For this game, for some reason, I might be missing something. I'm not able to use resolution scaling, so I'm forced to run natively the game at 720p, which impacts the performance. So at no surprise, we are below the minimum requirements, and these are the results. So the benchmark pass that I did use, it was starting the game on the Germany level, just at the start, and proceed until the dance floor. So for the most part, the most demanding moments it were the beginning on the forest and near the car with the volumetric effects and the light, and also near the end on the dance floor, or just overviewing the dance floor near the guy dancing in panties, alright, where you overview the dance floor from above. That part, it is very demanding too, and the frame rate got to its worst results. Of course, there are moments where the game just jumped to 70 frames per second for some reason, because I was walking to a wall or something. But throughout the entire level, the experience that you can expect, it is something in between 20 to 30 frames per second. So this is by far not the best way to enjoy Hitman, and if you feel like you are going to get a new PC soon, I would recommend you to wait, alright, because the game is not going anywhere. Although it is possible to finish the game like this, well, absolutely yes. That's my answer for that. It might not look great or feel great to play at 20 frames per second. The thing is, Hitman, it is a slow game. It's a game that you need to think, you don't need to be quick. And once you are going to finish the level at guns blazing style, you are not going to get in trouble of having a low frame rate, alright? But that depends on your playstyle. And that's the point. If you feel like you can play this game at 20 frames per second, just go ahead, because the game, even with the lowest settings, it does look great. As you can see, yes, it might be missing most of the reflections, which this game overuses a lot. But I mean, you still get shadows, and the lighting, it is fine, and pretty much all the effects are here anyway on the lowest settings, so it's fine. So, and also I have a confession to make. In the past, when I was a little kid, in 2006, Hitman Blood Money was released, and I had a shitty PC, even worse than this. It was a shitty desktop, and games were demanding at time. It was having a transaction moment to a new gen console, just like it is happening today. And Hitman Blood Money was a demanding game, and I didn't have the PC to run that game fine. And I ended up completing Hitman Blood Money at probably 15 frames per second or something worse. And I was able to complete the game. At minimum settings, it looked awful comparing to what the low settings it is today. Alright, so the minimum settings are fine today, but at the time they were really bad. And I completed the game because Hitman, it always was a game that you need to be silent and think a little bit your actions. So if I was able to finish the game at 15 frames per second in the past, you are able to finish this game between 20 to 30. It's not the best experience, like I did told you, and I can't really recommend the majority of the people to do this. But if you really care about Hitman and you completed the previous games at this type of frame rate, you will be fine in this game too. Alright, so that's the point. Now let's talk a little bit about the game and what's new. Well, so Hitman 3. This is the conclusion of this new series, which is called The World of Assassination. IO Interactive decided to remake the Hitman series, and the first Hitman remake it was released in 2006. Then they did release the Hitman 2, and now we have finally the ending of the trilogy, which is Hitman 3. So the main difference in this game, it is a little bit the graphics, alright, so they decided to include a different lighting system to this game and also screen space reflections. So this means that if you start the Hitman 3, you can also play the other levels, and the other levels will benefit from these improvements, so which means that if you are going to play another level from Hitman 1 inside the Hitman 3, you will get screen space reflections and a different lighting system. So the only thing that I don't consider great about that is that at some points the lighting really gets different, and the levels that you did play before might not look exactly the same because of that lighting difference. For most levels, the difference is just way too small for you to notice, but I do recommend you to check the Digital Foundry video. There are some levels there that really changes a little bit too much to my taste, and some people might not be satisfied with that change. But many other levels get so much better because of the addition of screen space reflections, alright? So that's pretty much that. As for the level design, Hitman 3, according to critics, have the best levels. And honestly, I think I have to agree. This Germany map completely resembles the Hitman Contract's second level. It was seriously amazing, and it's a punch on my memories because it really reminds me of those levels, and it's really great. The other levels are great too. I think they really got 200% into the details of every stuff, and the puzzles inside these games are really interesting. So I guess Hitman 3 might be the best game of the entire trilogy of the World of Assassination. So it's a great game. Now the downside is that apart from that and some new addition, which is the shortcuts, which I will explain, there isn't too much of new stuff, you know. It's more of the same. It's more of the same gameplay. They didn't really change it that much, but like I told you, the shortcuts, it is a new thing, and it's a nice thing if you like to replay the levels, which I do hope you do that, because previously on the other Hitmans, every time you wanted to perform a different challenge, a different type of assassination, you needed to replay the level exactly, or more or less the same way, traverse through the same paths. Now Hitman shortcuts, Hitman 3 shortcuts, really solves that problem, because after you finish the first level and if you unlock the shortcuts, what really happens is the second time you are going to play that level, instead of you going all the way around doing the same path, you can use your shortcuts to get more closer to the objective. So it's a little bit like Dark Souls, alright? Dark Souls, when you start the game, for you to kill the first boss, you need to go all the way around through multiple places to reach the boss. But after you kill the boss, you unlock a door that gets you back to the beginning just in like 10 seconds. So the next time you want to go to the same place, instead of going all the way around taking like 1 hour, you go through that door that you unlocked. So it's the same thing in here in Hitman. You unlock a shortcut, and instead of going all the way around like 20 minutes trying to evade the guys and the enemies and the suspicions, you just can get a shortcut that gets you more closer to your objective. So I think that's awesome for people that wants to replay the levels, and like I did told you, I do hope so, because Hitman, it is the type of game that if you are only going to complete the level one single time, it's a waste of money, because the game costs around 60 bucks at the moment and contains 6 maps. And honestly, this game, if you know what to do, you can complete the levels really quick and you can get to the ending of the game really quick. So it's kind of a wasted 60 bucks. Although, if you want to replay the levels multiple times, getting to your perfect kill, or just trying to beat the challenges that are suggested by the IO Interactive, that can get you a ton of hours of gameplay in here. And I think the magic and the way that Hitman it is built, it is for you to repeat the level multiple times. But if you are a guy that you are just more or less like me, that you just complete the level the best way that you can, and you don't want to see that again, and you want to move on to the next level, then $60 might be a little bit too much for a game like this. But it's your choice. Whatever the choice, Hitman 3 contains the best maps of the trilogy in my opinion, and I think I'm not alone in thinking that. And whatever the game it is small or whatever, if you don't think that it is worth the money, these guys have gone 300%. I know that I said 200% before, but I will still now 300% in small details inside these levels. It is really well done, and I think it's worth the money if you are really a fan of Hitman and if you like to repeat the levels. If you don't, I would recommend you to wait for the sale. Alright guys, I think that's all that I want to talk about Hitman 3. Hope you can enjoy the rest of the gameplay, which is not much, honestly. And I do hope to see you soon. And above all, guys, stay safe, so just game. Because if you are going to stay at home at gaming, I'm pretty sure you are not going to get the virus. So just game. Game on, guys. Thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Are you trying to kill me?